So I think that show is neat because the music in it's really good and the music touches people, but it's also a show where there's no magical wand, there's no flying spaceship, no one transforms into a magical girl, but yet some really really the only thing in Beck that's not believable is the dog. And I guess the bird, well, the bird is believable, but it's a story about a kid that puts his efforts into something and wins, and that's a true story. Like, you can do that in real life, so, yeah, I totally ramble. You can tell I have ADD. Yes. Yes, pointing at yourself.
I was wondering, do you remember any lines from Stedmister?
That's a really funny question. Do you remember how long ago we recorded that? That was about 6 years ago. I really don't. I don't remember lines from shows, and here's why. The guys from Monty Python just recently, or the surviving members of Monty Python, because there's fewer of them. There's like 2 of them are gone now. Yeah. And there's one other, Terry Gilliam. Terry Gilliam's still alive. Yes, Michael Palin is the voice. No, John Cleese is the voice on my TomTom. That anytime I need directions, John Cleese tells me where to go. They took an online survey of how well do you know your Monty Python, and they failed miserably. Because it's kind of vain to watch your own work over and over and over and over and over again. And like, we get caught up in new shows and new things, and we get really into that. And like, I remember the voice of Atari. I can't do it because my voice is all scratched out today, but his voice is basically almost just me whispering. It's something called close mic technique. The closer you get to a mic, the different your voice sounds. And they have a pop guard, so you don't have to put your mouth on all this, but you get up on the mic and they bump the volume really high, and I just whispered and talked really softly, like I was trying to talk, in a quiet room or a library. And that whispery voice is me whispering. It's just, volumed up, so, it's called gained up. But, yeah, I don't remember a lot of lines. I remember, like, classic ones, like "Where's My Dinner, You Slut" from Sayuki and stuff like that, but, like, I don't remember most of my lines. I have a hard time remembering the lyrics to the songs I sing, so, yeah.
What did you think about the ending of Spiral?
You mean the studio ran out of money, so we have to end this show right now? Hated it. Yeah, everybody turns into butterflies and puzzle pieces. Well, I think it was ridiculous. You can't have a show that the entire marketing campaign is, "What are the Blade Children?" and then never answer that question. Never answer, like, "Well, what are the Blade Children?" I don't know. I was a Blade Children, and I don't know what I was. But supposedly in the manga, it's better explained. And I haven't read it yet because it's daunting. It's a pretty long manga, so I'm like, I don't know that I can go through all that again. So, but I'm gonna eventually read through it. And that was my first time working with Caitlin, and had it not been for Spiral, we would have no Winry, because that was the show that kind of Caitlin was discovered on. So it was really cool. But I loved working on it. I loved Kosuke because he looks like a bad guy, and he's really not. Like, and Monica and I loved it because Monica and I at the time were best friends. That was before she moved to Dallas, and so we were 2 little evil sidekick people. So it was fun. Like her character's so evil in that show. Like holding that teddy bear and blowing up against that person. Like, it's awe. So yes. Oh no, you can, and then I'll go to her. Very little. Yes, what was my favorite part about taping and dubbing Negima? Negima was so tough for me vocally, obviously. I sound like Wolfman Jack, and in that, I sound like a little church mouse. It was so hard, and Lucy and I just killed ourselves working on that show. Lucy and I both live in Houston, and we recorded that show in Dallas. It's a 5-hour drive from Houston to Dallas. So when we would book time on that show, we would try to make our time worthwhile. So we would record from 10 in the morning until 10 at night, 5 days in a row. And imagine talking like that for 5 days in a row for 12 hours a day. And it was just exhausting. So when we did the new version, I enjoyed it quite a lot just because, 1, I didn't smoke anymore, so the voice was super easy to get to. 2, I was more used to that character, and it just seemed a lot easier. The best part about Negama to me was watching it when it was all over. I enjoyed it, I enjoyed it, I enjoyed it. It sounds so ridiculous, but it's a cute show. I enjoy it. And not because there's a bunch of little schoolgirls in it. I could care less about that. So take that to mean what you will. But, I love the show. I think it's a really cute little show. I wish it didn't have as much fan service in it because I could show it to my little nephew, but there's no way he's seeing as soon as Bear Panties. So he's a little too young for Bear Panties just yet. Yes?
You said you like giant robot anime.
Well, there's newer ones because I love Godanner. You know, I got to work on Godanner and that was really fun. But the old, it's really funny to name off old big robot shows. People go back and watch them and they'll come back and tell me like, that's ugly. And I'm like, hey, in the '80s we appreciated people with Dairy Queen hair, you know, the big space afro. But like newer big robot shows, I worked on a show called Gravion that I love. There are a few others, but my favorite big robot shows are now the ones that I've been in because I got to be in a big robot. Like, why wouldn't I like that? Godanner is very ridiculous and fan servicey, and really Gravion is too. But Gravion's got a much better story, and I think our robot's better. So, because Godanner, it's a little too sexy. Like the way the robots join is a little ridiculous, and I'll just leave it there. But yes, change the subject. Yes.
Was there a part in there in the Diacon Brothers that like that you couldn't get past because it was so funny?
Because it was so funny.
Like
Yeah, and the one that I can't say in this panel because it's not family friendly. There's a line that I say in the last episode when we're fighting the lions, and I'll leave it at that. That I was obviously waiting. I knew that joke was coming, but I didn't know the line that was in store for me. So when I had to say that, I got kind of tickled. But that being said, Diacon Brothers was so fast and furious, and I didn't always have the benefit of having Chris Patton or Lucy in the track before I was. In those cases where I did, it was hysterical. But my favorite part about Diacon Brothers was just all the music. Because unlike Beck, where I'm singing in my voice, in Diacon Brothers, I'm singing, you know, in that gruff, you know, Marco, get over here, that voice. So it's really weird to sing, like, you know, where are we gonna get the dough we need? Like, you sing in another voice, and that's kind of funny. But singing as yourself is like, I don't know, it's just, that was the most enjoyable part of the show. And my brother fixed a lot of the script, because the script is very weird. And luckily, we had the benefit of being able to work with Nabashin. So if a joke didn't work in English, I love working with Nabashin because he's such a little pervert. And I say that lovingly, like he'll admit that. He would just make another naughty joke, and it would work. He's like, well, a butt, you know? He would just change it to something else naughty, and it was funny, and we had his approval on it, so that made it okay. It wasn't like we were doing a ghost story on it. So, yes, let's see, wait, am I being fair? Yes, you, and then you, yes. Yes, you.
what was your favorite part of being on?
When I was done, Mike McFarlane and Mike used to make jokes because I play, most guys like Spike Spencer that are known for playing wimpy roles hate it. They're like, I hate Shinji Ikari. I'm like, why? He's a wimp and blah, blah, blah. I love playing wimpy, wussy guys because that's not who I am in real life. Like, I have a hockey temper. I'm quick to shoot my mouth off. I'm a little skater kid. Like, I'm not the little guy that cries and hides in a corner. Like, I'm like, what? What? Excuse me? Like, so like playing that in an anime is funny to me. Like, it's funny that he cries all the time. Like, and when he's got one line where he's like, please stop screaming. I hate it when people scream and people are always screaming. Like, it's so wussy. It's so funny. Like, please, you know, like, that's funny to me. Like, and I loved it. So like I would jokingly say like to Mike when we were recording, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna need to go get in a fight after this. Like, I was such a little like girly boy the whole show, but it was fun. And like he's one of those characters I like. He wasn't a big role, but he was an interesting character. Like I like interesting characters. He was poor thing. I feel bad for him every time I think about him. Yeah.